What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. If you guys are like me and you're jumping out of your chair with excitement for Arc Raiders and what is coming in the next 2 weeks, which is our open beta weekend for everyone. Again, you don't need to pre-order to play in the open beta, October 17th through the 19th. I can't wait. And then our release date is coming on October 30th. If you're like me, then this video is going to be for you. We're going to be breaking down why Arc Raiders is going to be the game that literally changes gaming. And there's so many different reasons, right? So before we jump into it, though, I want to give you guys a really quick background about me. This is my third channel. This is my third YouTube channel. I run 2 other successful channels, one MMO gaming channel, another tech channel. So if you've seen me anywhere else, that's why I'm on those. I stream on kick.com/hammerdance. And I am a big fan of FPS games. I'm a big fan of extraction games, and I was major into BRs back in the day as well. I started with like H1Z1, I went to TwitchCon, played in the Challengers tournament. So here is my take on why I think Arc Raiders is literally going to change gaming, and it's for so many different reasons. So this is going to be kind of a more raw talking style video where we really kind of break down everything. So Arc Raiders, I'll be honest with you guys, I heard about it a while back, but I never really paid much attention to it until April, right, with the Tech Test 2. Tech Test 2 started, and honestly, with no marketing, this game absolutely blew everything away. You know, watching people play it, all that stuff, playing it yourself, you were like, holy crap, this game is like next level. And there's a few reasons to that, right? If we think back to when BRs first started, right? I know it wasn't the first one, but take H1Z1, for example. It was kind of the first BR to bring it to like the mainstream. Then we had PUBG, then we had Fortnite, which then went on to become one of the biggest. Obviously Apex Legends, which is still kind of big, not as big as it was, but it started this entire movement, right? Now, if we think about extraction shooters, the only one that really sticks out, that's held a kind of a big, I guess, fan base or population over the years, has been Escape from Tarkov. But the only problem with that, and I love Tarkov, I've been playing it for 7-ish years at this point, I think 7 years. The only problem with that is that Tarkov is very, I would say it's not accessible for the mainstream, right? It's a very hardcore experience. You know, arguably that's what makes it so good and so unique. I love Tarkov. I'm also excited for that, the 1.0 release on November 15th. But the thing is, I don't think that extraction shooters really have hit the mainstream yet for this exact reason. They kind of have to have this, you know, realistic mil-sim vibe to them. And I think Arc Raiders is kind of breaking out of that boundary. We have Arena Breakout Infinite as well, which is kind of good. To me, I still think that the level of detail and everything in Tarkov really nails it compared to Arena Breakout, but nonetheless, also a fun game. I think where Arc Raiders really shines is it takes familiar genres and then kind of throws in and incorporates that extraction element, right? So the best way you could describe Arc Raiders is it's kind of like a BR, definitely more of an extraction shooter, but it has that like casual feel of like the Division, the original Division, right? It's third person, so it's not going to be insanely sweaty. Now, that doesn't mean people aren't going to sweat in the game. They are 100% going to sweat, but it adds a little bit more of a casual vibe to it, you know, playing with your friends type of vibe, just for fun, right? Like the Division, that's what I keep coming back to. The Division, the original one was so amazing. So if you took the Division, you mashed it together with a little bit of like Apex Legends because of the trio layout, and then threw in light elements of Escape from Tarkov, and then a little bit of RPG elements as well, which is something that really does also set Tarkov, you know, above the rest of the extraction games. I think you have an absolute masterpiece here. I think that this game is going to appeal to such a wider audience than most people realize. Like, even people who haven't been into extraction games because they think of Tarkov, I think Arc Raiders is going to kind of pull them in because it has that casual play for fun vibe that will bring people in, right? And we've seen posts now saying that there's going to be leaderboards and a ranked mode or whatever. So if you do want to get sweaty, you can. It has those RPG elements where you're like putting talent points in and you're leveling up your hideout and all this stuff. I think it's really cool. And on top of that, right, that is just the basis of what the game is going to be. If we go even deeper than that, and we look at the level of detail that Embark has put into the game, for the Tech Test 2, it was incredible. right? That's what we're watching right now. This is Tech Test 2 gameplay footage. Absolutely incredible for a tech test, okay? This game is not launching in beta, you know what I mean? It is launching as a full, fleshed out game. And Embark has done an amazing job with the finals. Another one of my favorite shooters. I think the finals, you know, I don't know if its time has actually even come yet. I don't think it's peaked yet. I think eventually one day the finals is going to explode. It's still very healthy and still very playable, but it never got that popularity that it deserved because the finals was like one of the most fun and fluid feeling FPS games that I think I've ever played, and I've played everything, okay? So you have that level of attention to detail, the quality, the light, you know, extraction game mechanics, the team-based BR kind of scenario. And on top of that, you're also fighting this amazingly done AI, right? The Ark, the robots that you're fighting against on these maps are actually crazy. They have a mind of their own. Right? It's unlike anything else I've ever seen. That is something where I feel like, you know, Tarkov did a really good job at making hard AI, like AI that's like not easy to fight. Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't. It's very inconsistent in Tarkov, right? You know, sometimes you'll be walking, you see a scav down the road and he's fucking spinning in circles. You know what I mean? Like what is that? And you just pop him once in the head and that's it. And then other times you see a scav for a millisecond and you get one tapped in the face. It's a little bit inconsistent, whereas I feel like there's a level of consistency to the AI, to the Ark, the robots in Ark Raiders. And I think that that's going to be really good as well. I think that, you know, it shows that they really, really care. Another thing that we should talk about, though, is the world design in this game, right? Let's look at the setting. You're in this like retro NASA punk dystopian future theme, right? It's like apocalyptic, but it's kind of retro, but it's also kind of futuristic. I think the theme of this game is another thing that's going to pull a lot of people in. I think it's something that a lot of people resonate with. A lot of people like it. It has like almost like Fallout kind of vibes. It's just, I don't know. I think this game is going to be something special. The gameplay, the way the gunplay feels, all of that stuff really does make a big difference. And if it's even exactly how it was in Tech Test 2, which is, you know, at this point, 6 months ago, back in April, I think the game is going to do incredible. But they've had 6 more months to develop, right? Probably getting at least one new map, more fleshed out, you know, more fluid mechanics and all this stuff. The movement feels great. Everything about the game felt like a fully finished game at the point of Tech Test 2. So what I'm trying to say is, think about 6 months down the road from where the game already felt in Tech Test 2. You're looking at something amazing, right? Now let's talk a little bit about the combat, right? A little bit of me wants to say that this is where the game definitely feels not as hardcore as the extraction shooters that you're used to, right? You're looking like, I'm going to keep using Tarkov for an example because it is the biggest and most popular one. Tarkov, you don't really have much time to react. You get one tapped from across the map with a sniper. You know, you turn a corner, someone's camping in a corner, you get one tapped in the face with a pistol, even if you're wearing your best armor. The way that they did it in Ark Raiders with the shields and everything and the, you know, the time to kill for most weapons makes it feel like no matter who you are, I guess, or how you're playing, you do have a chance, right? You get hit. Yes, you could be destroyed in 2 seconds, but for the most part, you have time to react. You can roll behind cover, take cover, you know, heal up with the shields or whatever. I feel like it gives a little bit more of a casual fighting experience than what people are used to in most, you know, extraction shooters like Escape from Tarkov. That's one thing that's majorly different is the combat, obviously. That and it's third person, right? So you can use those third person peeks to look around walls and stuff. Again, adds that little bit of casual, you know, everyone kind of friendliness to the game where your friends who aren't really the best at these games can come in and have a good time with you and play the game. It's not as hardcore is what I'm trying to say, but can probably be hardcore enough for the people who want it to be, especially if there's a ranked mode, right? Then you got to look at the progression, right? The questing, the constantly leveling up your hideout, you know, fine-tuning and progressing your raider yourself. This is stuff that really is amazing as well. I think that's one thing that always really, you know, made Tarkov stand out as well was the RPG elements, right? You know, you're throwing grenades and you're leveling up your strength. You're running and you're increasing your endurance. I don't think it's as deep in Arc Raiders, but there is that element of progression, you know, for your character. So there's so many things working together in this game to kind of bring it together and kind of mash up a bunch of super loved games all into one, into this awesome, you know, retro NASA punk dystopian, you know, apocalyptic future. And I can't help but feel like this game is going to change gaming, you know, moving forward. I really do feel that. And you can look at it because this game is a masterpiece, and you look at the way that, you know, Embark has it priced. It's $40 for the base game, right? And this is obviously a live service game. We'll be getting updates constantly. $40. Most games that come out nowadays are 70 plus, okay? For the Epic or the Ultra edition of this game, it's $60. Still cheaper than the base price for most other games. And that to me shows that, like, you know, I feel like this is going to be another like Baldur's Gate 3 situation where it's like they're not grubbing for money. They're not being money hungry. They're just giving you an amazing product. And I think that, you know, they really haven't done a ton of marketing for the game either, right? So the game has this much hype behind it without crazy levels of marketing. That is the craziest part. Imagine when they start to market this game, if they even do market it to that extent like other games. It really hasn't had a lot of marketing, and the best part about it is that the hype and the expectancy for this game, it's all being generated by word of mouth, by people who actually played the game and said, this game is amazing. Like, you are going to lose your mind when you play this game. It's going to take over your life, right? That's why, you know, you look at the thumbnail for this video, massive takeover. I think this game is actually going to take over gaming for a while. I do. I think it's going to take over for quite a while. I think that a lot of people aren't even expecting this. I stream, right, to 80 plus viewers over on Kick every night. I play a lot of World of Warcraft as well. You know, I'm an FPS gamer at heart, but I do love classic WoW. And, you know, these people don't even know that this game is coming out. A lot of people don't even know that this game is coming out. That's the crazy part. You know what I mean? So once those people see it in action, they see it on Twitch, they see it on YouTube, they see it on Kick, they see marketing ramp up, that's when this game is going to get that momentum and do an absolute takeover. I fully believe that. But I'm very excited for it, and if you guys are subscribed to the channel, we're going to be doing a ton of Arc Raiders content as it comes out. This is a variety channel, so we will cover other games in the future, but for the foreseeable future, we are going to be covering everything to do with Arc Raiders. We will probably be doing some guides, some gameplays, some walkthroughs, all that stuff, you know, as we get closer to launch. I'm very excited. Again, subscribe. If you guys want to hang out with me live, I stream on kick.com/hammerdance, so toss me a follow over there. But anyways, guys, that's all I've got for you today, so thank you all so much for watching and listening in. I'll see you all in the next one.